Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. Sorry that I haven't uploaded any videos in a while. I've been pretty busy, but I do plan to change this in short order. I don't know when you might be viewing this video, but this information is up to date as of December 13th, 2020. I ultimately want to discuss three main points during this channel update. The first is the reason why I haven't been uploading new content for a while. The second is the current state of the channel. And the third is my plans for the future. Without further ado, I'm going to move on to the first topic, the reason for the lack of new content. As I stated in the introduction, I've been pretty busy in the time since I last uploaded a video, which was back in April of 2020. 2020 has overall been a pretty hectic year, adjusting day-to-day life to deal with the pandemic and lockdowns. April was also the time I began preparing for my spring semester finals. Then between May and the end of July, I was taking online courses that took up almost every waking moment of my day. It was pretty brutal and intense, but ultimately I think it paid off and was worth it. And then at the beginning of August, my apartment lease ended and I moved back home, which is in a region that doesn't have great, reliable, high-speed internet. And then, of course, the fall semester began at the end of August. Since then, I've been focusing more on my courses and schoolwork. All in all, it's been a pretty busy and rough 8 months. I hope your experience has been better than mine. Moving on to the second point, the current state of the channel. Despite not having uploaded any videos, I have not been idle during this period. I've been focusing on two issues. The first being the quality of the recording software I've been using. As you guys have probably noticed, the quality of my past uploads has not been great. They appear to be pretty staticky and almost glitchy in my watchback of the videos before I upload them. While looking into the issue, I discovered that it is due to a difference in the frame rate of the game and the frame rate of the recording software. In this case, Endless Sky, the game, has a lower frame rate than the recording software. This is unfortunate, but I think it's ultimately resolvable. The frame rate of the game itself can't be changed to a higher rate. I was kind of disappointed to figure this out. I have been attempting to change the frame rate of the recording software to a rate that's either even with or lower than the frame rate of the game itself. This hasn't been successful so far, but I am continuing to look into possible workarounds for this. Unfortunately, at this point, I'm fairly confident that I will have to switch to a different program or a different software set. If anyone watching this video has a suggestion for some software that I should look into or that they would recommend, leave the details in the comment section. This would be of great help and would be very much appreciated. The second point that I've been focusing on during this period is new games and their requirements. In addition to looking at the frame rate issue, I have been going through the games in my Steam library and on my Steam wishlist. I compiled a spreadsheet of each game's requirements and have been comparing them to my current system's abilities. This is in an effort to more readily choose which games will be featured in future content. In both my Steam library and wishlist, I have a variety of games from different genres and gameplay styles. These range from text-based adventures to first-person shooters with a wide variety in between. Hopefully, this will provide a significant variety of content that will appeal to a wide range of viewers. This would be great for everyone involved, I think. It would change up the pace every now and then and just give you a better tour of what's available out there. Moving on to the third talking point, my plans for the future. This is further divided into two subcategories, the first being my short-term plans and the second being my long-term plans. My short-term plans focus primarily on the next month and a half or so, maybe 2 months at the longest. My first point of business is continuing and finishing my gameplay series for Endless Sky. I am not sure exactly how long this will take, but it will take up, in my estimation, a considerable portion of the month and a half, 2 month period that I've set for myself. I will begin uploading new videos of this series in the days shortly after this video update is this video update is uploaded to YouTube. After this, I plan to go through a nostalgic deep dive period. I plan to play some CD-based games from my childhood. I have some great memories of these games, and I want to see how well they have held up over the years. Who knows? Maybe some of you viewers will have memories of these or similar games from your past. I understand this content is not going to likely appeal to everyone, and I understand this, but I at the same time think it's definitely worth doing. Moving on to my long-term plans, as I'm unlikely to have reliable high-speed internet for a long period, after my nostalgic dive, I plan to focus more on games that do not require either a strong or any internet connection at all, but still show some promise to be entertaining. Um, I'm going to be listing the games I currently have in my Steam library that meet this criterion and that I think definitely show potential to be of great value to you guys, the viewers. The first title on my list is Alan Wake. This is a supernatural horror themed mystery adventure that I think is very reminiscent of Stephen King's work. The second title is Life is Strange. This, I know, is a relatively popular game, especially in the circles that I've been involved with. This is a supernatural thriller in which the protagonist must come to terms with some new abilities of theirs and the effects that these abilities have. Connected to this second title, the third is called The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. This is a short side story adventure set in the same universe as Life is Strange. It's neither a prequel nor a sequel. It's a side story. It basically follows a young boy during one of his winter holiday break from school days, or during a day of his winter holiday break from school. It's short, it's sweet, but it's definitely enjoyable to play, and I think it would be really great to watch. I personally am really happy with this content, and I would love to see this material expanded upon in future Life is Strange games. I don't know if there are any current plans to make a third installment to the franchise. I would hope there is, and I would love to see some of the material from this game included in that, either as an Easter egg or as part of the main content. I think that would be really cool. Moving on to the fourth title on my list, it's called The Long Dark. It is a thrilling open world survival game set in the remote Canadian wilderness. The goal is basically to explore and survive as long as possible in the brutal winter elements. You're all alone, it's only you and your wits about you, and I definitely think that this has some great potential. The fifth title on my list is A New Beginning. This is a thrilling text adventure that follows a scientist trying to prevent his research from falling into the wrong hands. This is a departure from my typical gaming experience, but I've heard good reviews and great things about this, and I definitely think it's worth looking into. The sixth and seventh titles on my list are definitely linked to each other. They are Civilization 5 and 6. The Civilization franchise is a turn-based strategy game where you must guide your people and culture to domination while competing against other historic civilizations. Um, Civilization 6 is the most recent installment in the franchise that provides updated graphics and game features. This personally is a favorite game of mine. I've spent a lot of time playing this game. I am by no means an expert or even uh, great at this game. I'm definitely still an amateur who's learning new things every time I play, new, not exactly modes, but new things that help improve my abilities and the flow of each game. I would love to spend more time on this game, especially with you guys watching and commenting and providing tips or tricks that you guys know that you think would improve the situation. Um, who knows? I might even let you decide what to do at one point or during one playthrough. I definitely think that these two games have some great potential in them. The next two items on my list are Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords. These are both RPGs set in the Old Republic period of the Star Wars universe. These games allow players to customize character appearance and equipment while playing through an engrossing story. Um, these two games have been out for a long time and they've both been massively popular. Um, this is not my first time playing either of the two games, but I definitely think that it would be worth going back and going through the experience with you guys. Next on the list is Star Wars Republic Commando. This is a first-person shooter that has you leading a squad of elite clone troopers on secret missions for the Republic war effort. I've played this quite a few times. Each time is great, never gets old. It's almost always enjoyable as the first time, if not more so, because it's easier. I know what to do. I've picked up tricks and little tips as I go through it. Um, Again, this is another great title that I think would be worth exploring with you guys. Next on the list is Star Wars Force Unleashed, I should say, with similar dynamics as Knights of the Old Republic. These, at least in character customization and some of the combat elements, this game follows the story of a young apprentice of Darth Vader as he carries out his master's orders throughout the galaxy. The story also explores his development as a character. Um, I wouldn't exactly call it a coming of age story because he's already a young adult, but he definitely realizes that he's more than, and that he has much greater potential to be something that isn't necessarily what his master defines him as. Um, I think it's ultimately a journey of self-discovery and realizing what you are worth. That might be kind of a deep philosophical look into it, um, but I definitely, again, think that this game is great and definitely worth exploring. The last title on my list is called This War of Mine. This is a psychological choose your path story that follows a group of civilians attempting to survive in a war-torn city. Um, I've heard good things about this game, at least in its value, that it's worth playing, but I've also heard that it can be quite brutal at some points. It explores the limits and the boundaries that people place upon themselves and that they're willing to exceed in order to survive or give others a chance to survive. Um, this is likely to include some pretty dark material and content, so I'm planning to play through this before I make a gameplay series. Um, this is in order to get an idea if I'll have to put a content warning in the description or the title of those videos. I don't want to, potentially expose someone who's not ready for some of this content. I know that, especially at a younger age, that can be pretty scarring, and I would regret for that to happen. Um, so ultimately, these games that I've listed are games that I already own and can operate with my current system. When the time comes to pick a new game for a gameplay series, I will, instead of choosing it myself, I will open up a poll allowing you, the viewers, to choose what they want to see. As time goes on and my system improves or changes, or I get high-speed internet, I will be further expanding the pool of potential games. Ultimately, I want to get to a point where I will also include an option for you guys to submit a title that you can vote on. And if that submitted title gets enough votes, I'll definitely strongly consider the game. But I too ultimately reserve the right to choose what I'm going to play next. Um, so I think that pretty much covers all of the material that I wanted to talk about. If you guys have any questions for me or comments or recommendations that you think I should look into, um, go ahead and include those in the comment section below the video. I would greatly appreciate it, and I would love to communicate with you guys. I would love to get some feedback. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's everything. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you either enjoyed this or found it informative in some way, and I look forward to getting new content out to you guys in the following days. Have a great day. See you guys later.